Details from reporter Bernie Bennett.
In key battleground states like Arizona and Nevada, Trump leads Harris 48% to 47%. Conversely, the Democratic nominee leads the Republican candidate 48 to 47% in New Mexico and Colorado. One poll has them tied in Pennsylvania, another has Trump leading there, and two other polls have Harris ahead. Harris leads Trump in Michigan and Wisconsin, and one poll has her leading multiple candidates in Virginia. North Carolina, still recovering from hurricane damage, sees Trump leading the vice president 50 to 47%, and a new poll from Tip Insights has Trump leading Harris by 1 point, 49 to 48% nationwide. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
The United States Supreme Court has allowed Pennsylvania to count contested provisional ballots, rejecting a Republican plea. Correspondent Norman Hall has that story.
The Supreme Court rejected an emergency appeal from Republicans that could have led to thousands of provisional ballots not being counted in Pennsylvania. The justices left in place a state Supreme Court ruling that election officials must count provisional ballots cast by voters whose mail-in ballots were rejected. The ruling is a victory for voting rights advocates who had sought to force counties, primarily Republican-controlled counties, to let voters cast a provisional ballot on Election Day if they had realized that their mail-in ballot was to be rejected for various garden-variety errors, including missing signatures or dates. I'm Norman Hall.
On Wall Street, the Dow up by 288 points, the Nasdaq rose 144, the S&P 500 advanced 23, and oil at $69.56 a barrel. More at townhall.com.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join Medi-Share and save even more than usual. For many families, joining Medi-Share means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, Medi-Share members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And Medi-Share is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before November 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee, so you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is November 15th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number, 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE, 844-41-BIBLE.
After a very rough trading day on Thursday, the major market indexes rallied for a strong Friday. We hear more on the day's activity from correspondent Seth Sutel reporting from New York City.
Amazon led stocks higher on Wall Street. Meanwhile, a surprisingly weak jobs report cemented expectations for another cut to interest rates. The S&P 500 rose 0.4% Friday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 288 points. It's about 0.7%. The Nasdaq Composite climbed 0.8%. Amazon rallied more than 6%. The online retail giant delivered stronger profit for the latest quarter than analysts had expected. Treasury yields pushed higher in the bond market. Yields initially fell following the jobs report. However, that data was distorted by unusual events, including a strike at Boeing and 2 major hurricanes. Seth Sutel, New York.
News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters.
This is Ian with AccuClean. Regular carpet, rug, and upholstery cleaning isn't just about keeping them looking beautiful and smelling fresh. It can also help to extend their life, which in turn saves money in the long run. Check out AccuClean today for our other services, such as mattress sanitation, odor and enzyme treatments, and leather cleaning and conditioning. Call AccuClean today at 803-957-1202 for all your carpet cleaning needs and more. Once again, that's AccuClean at 803-957-1202. I'll see you soon.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
It's a Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard with Phil Kornblut and David Shelton. We've got all the scores from across the state, plus game reports and interviews with coaches. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, let's head to the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia. Here's Phil Kornblut.
All right. Welcome in, everybody. It is the High School Scoreboard brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Great to have you with us. Beautiful Friday night. Boy, I hope the stands were packed all over the state tonight. Great weather for high school football. Hope everybody had a good, safe outing on the gridirons around South Carolina tonight. We got a lot to come your way, a lot of scores. David Shelton will be joining us in a little bit. Talk about games all across the state. We'll have plenty of reports for you as well, and perhaps talk to a coach or two, but primarily catch you up on the final scores from across the state of South Carolina. And so let's go ahead and dive into what we've got. Final scores and games in progress. These scores are from ScoreStream. So as I always say, ScoreStream does a good job, but from time to time, some of the scores are not correct. So we'll roll with what we have here. Can't guarantee the complete accuracy at this point, but they are scores, and we'll give them to you. In the fourth quarter, Greenwood 38, Hillcrest 16. In the fourth quarter, Cane Bay 28, Goose Creek 22. In the fourth quarter, Christchurch 17, Palmetto 3. A final, Timberland has defeated Woodland 27-9. Billy Baker will be calling a hot call in here shortly. With more on that, Hartsville beat South Florence 54-35. Somerville leading Fort Dorchester 50-21. Second half. Jeff Davis defeats Holly Hill 12-0. St. John's Christian and Bethesda wins it 40-15. Fourth quarter, Northside Christian 48, Camden Military 14. Patrick Henry over Andrew Jackson Academy 34-0. Pinewood Prep defeats John Paul II 69-21. Wilson Hall defeats First Baptist 45-7. Florence Christian edges Trinity Collegiate 16-13. Latta, home of champions, defeats Johnsonville 48-14. Hannah Pamplico 55, Hemingway 6. Lakeview 51, Greensea Floyd's 8. Fourth quarter, Bamberg Earhart 36, Denmark Oler 20. Hunter Connor Tyler over Ridge Spring Monetta 60-8. Blackville Hilda defeats Williston Elko 20-6. Louisville 37, Lamar 7. Fourth quarter, Macby 28, Great Falls 7. Final, Lee Central 48, C.A. Johnson 8. Final, Whitmire 65, Calhoun Falls 22. Fourth quarter, Woodruff 42, Union County 12. Final, Newberry 45, Swansea nothing. Final, Silver Bluff 34, Fox Creek 7. Final, Dillon 56, Georgetown nothing. Final, Hanahan 48, Battery Creek 13. Final, Loris 28, Ainer 8. Boy, that Loris team locked in for the playoffs, no doubt. A final, Barnwell 21, Well Branch 14. Another final, Sherrall 45, Chesterfield 7. Final score, Central 38, North Central 7. Another final, Crescent 14, Pendleton nothing. Another final, Belton Honeypath 49, Walhalla nothing. Final, Strom Thurmond 21, 96-7. Like the way I do that? You like when I say final? Fourth quarter, Batesburg Leesville over Saluda, 28-0. Thought that might be tight, but it's not going to be tight. 28-0. Third quarter, Chesney 23, Landrum 20. Final, Myrtle Beach 21, North Myrtle Beach 6. Fourth quarter, Woodmont 35, Easley 28. Fourth quarter, Bluffton 21, May River 14. Okay, skip that score. I don't believe that score. Actually, we have a final on that game from somewhere else, so I can tell you. This is the Bishop England game, courtesy of our friend Sam, and it was Bishop England defeating Colleton County 35-0. Fourth quarter, Darlington 30, Wilson 20. Final, Hilton Head 29 and Buford 11. Fourth quarter, Crestwood 28, Lakewood nothing. Final, Gray Collegiate 42, Gilbert nothing. Final, Brooklyn Casey 49, Airport 14. Final, South Aiken 26, Aiken 14. In progress, South Point 14, Richland Northeast 6. It's an early score. Don't know where it is now. Final, Pickens 56, Travelers Rest nothing. Fourth quarter, Daniel 48, Greer 21. Second half, Wando 7, Lucy Beckham nothing. Final, Socastee 33, St. James 20. See, this is why you can't trust. This is why you can't trust ScoreStream. But somebody will report this. Somebody posted on here, Riverside 120, Spartanburg 35. Yeah. See, that's why you can't trust ScoreStream. You can trust them for about 98% of the scores, maybe even 99. But somebody posted 120-35. I guarantee you we'll see that.
It could have been an accident. It could have been 12. Didn't have to add the 0.
I don't know.
Just be optimistic.
Let's see what the actual final score is. But this says 120-30. Probably a Riverside fan posted that. So, again, we do not stand by the accuracy of these scores. Don't sue us, sue them. Speaking of suing people, James Island 53, Stall nothing. That's a final. Northwestern 45, Indian Land nothing. That's a final. White Knoll 48, Lexington. White Knoll 28, Lexington 7. That's in the second half. Gaffney 43, Wade Hampton nothing. Fort Mill 20, Nation Ford 20. Fourth quarter. Second half, Dutch Fork 35, River Bluff 7. Fourth quarter, Dorman 35, Eastside 7. Final, Clover 34, Catawba Ridge 21. Second half, Irmo 41, Chapin 14. Second half, Burns 27, Boiling Springs 22. Second half, Ridgeview 14, Blythewood 7. Fourth quarter, West Ashley 41, Ashley Ridge 39. Final, Man 55, Greenville 12. Final, Chapman 49, Broome 28. And that's what we've got for now. So, let's get to some folks out at games tonight. Do we have Billy already online? Okay. Hot call, Billy Baker, publisher, High School Sports Report. Make sure you check out the High School Sports Report online, hssr.com, to get all their great stories and their rankings and their stats and everything else that Billy's been doing for about 75 years. And as he always is, when his knee is agreeable, he's on a field somewhere tonight. Welcome in, Billy.
Phil, even with a bad knee, I'm here, and we got a bonus tonight. Desmond Green with 21 offers, the outstanding junior left tackle who played both ways tonight, will join us in a minute. But first, we're going to hear from head coach Greg Wright from Timberland, a 27-9 winner over Woodland tonight, spoiling Woodland's homecoming. Deontay Cleveland for Woodland rushed over 100 yards, running behind number 76, considered one of the best left tackles in high school football in the nation. Montrez Addison added 3 touchdown runs out of the Wildcat. Woodland actually led 9-7 at the half, but on like the first play, they had the ball in the third quarter, a pass interception, and the Wolves scored on the first play after that pass interception. I'm going to give you Greg Wright, head coach. His team is now 7-3. Depending on what Philip Simmons did with Andrews tonight, he'll finish second in the region. And then we'll hear from one of the best left tackles in high school football in the 2026 class, Desmond Green.
All right,
Coach Wright. live from Woodland. And please excuse, both bands are having a contest against each other right now. And boy, they have cleaned the wax out of my ears. Here's Coach Wright.
I love
live
that.
from Woodland.
That's what high school football sounds like, Billy and the band in the background.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good in yourself.
Man, it's great having you with us right there on the field with the band right there. That's awesome. Congratulations on the win tonight. Just give us your thoughts on your team's performance.
It was a good all around team performance. We always talk about each of us need all of us. We had a little adversity. We bogged down on some drives early in the first half, but I told them, with offense, just got to be patient and keep believing, and keep tugging at that tree, and eventually something will fall. We ended up scoring right before the half. It was 9-7. Got the ball back out of the half, and we just kind of wore them down. Running behind our big uglies, and we just kind of opened it up. Defense played lights out in the second half. Willen kind of had our hand, had us on our heel, got a lot of got us on first downs a good bit, but eventually we buckled down. We just, like we talked about, how you practice. I said I'm going to play, and these guys had a heck of a practice this week. They understand what the task is, just being 1-0 every night, 1-0 every day, and we're just proud to come down here and get it done.
Absolutely. Tell us more about that defensive performance tonight. You must have had it really dialed in.
Yes, sir. Like I said, the first half they kind of had us, got some things on the perimeter, but our guys buckled down. My coach, Coach Bowers, made some adjustments. He used to be with Coach Reedy at Goose Creek when they won a couple of state championships. He does a great job with our guys, and our guys, on defense all year, they've been stout. We told them to just be physical, just go be physical and be smart, and just be disciplined, and that's what they did. Just don't give up the cheap one, make them earn it, and we were glad to get the win in the end.
How do you feel going into the playoffs right around the corner, the way your guys have looked all season?
Definitely feel good about it. I had a great group of seniors. They were here my first year when I got here. They were 8th graders, and they understand. They're my leaders on the team. They lead by example and they're vocal. You're only as good as your senior leadership. I'm a firm believer in that, and our guys, they do a good job of, never being too high or low, keeping an even keel and keeping everybody into the game. And like I said, could have easily tucked our tail in the past. We've always been right there on the cuff, but just couldn't knock the door down. But this year, because of my leaders, they keep their composure and they believe in each other, and they were able to have a pretty good game tonight along with the rest of the season.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're producing a lot of big-time talent. You got another one coming out here in Desmond Green. I think we're going to chat with him real quick, so if you'll hand him the phone, we'll talk to him and let you guys get on the bus.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all, too.
Thank you, Coach Greg Wright from Timberland. Now let's talk to Desmond Green, who we've talked to many times before on recruiting calls. Wait for Desmond to get on the horn. Hello, Mr. Green.
How you doing, Mr. Cornblue?
How you doing? You can call me Phil, but I'll call you Mr. Green. Congratulations, man. Great win tonight. How do you feel like you and your guys played?
Man, shoot. Hey, we got real gritty with it, man. Real gritty dub right here, just after the half, we got to, we came out. It's a brand new game. We already got that mindset, figured out, while we making our adjustments after halftime, and just real gritty dub, just getting after it, running the ball, making them like it, and just playing hard, playing together and playing fast, man, playing with energy and playing with passion.
How do you feel about this team with the playoffs right around the corner? You kind of like the focus and the kind of the way you guys have come together?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, after this week, this week of practice has been, one of the best weeks of practice, all the passion and energy we had during practice, and it translates to Friday night, big dub out here on the road. So, we're going to keep it up, try to keep that consistency because, it ain't as being consistent, that's greatness. Being consistent leads to greatness. So, we're just going to keep it consistent, and we're going to make a run for this thing.
Absolutely. Are you taking a visit to a game this weekend?
Yes, sir.
Where are you going?
Tennessee.
Making the ride up to the mountains, to the Smokies. Okay. Billy Baker told me, you can pay kids now, so he told me he'd give you $100 if you go ahead and announce a commitment somewhere tonight.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
I'm lying.
We're on the radio, right?
I'm kidding. I'm lying. I don't want to be accused of of tricking you. That was a joke, a lie, a complete fabrication. You have a great trip.
That's all good.
You have a great trip to Tennessee, man, and we'll talk to you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Appreciate it. What if he'd have blurted out, I'm committing to. Then I have to call Billy up and say, Billy, give him $100. I got to be honest. I got to be fair. You know it. But you can do that today. I mean, and I was debating whether or not to kind of playfully do that. But in all realness, I can call a kid up and say, hey, man, I'll pay you $500 to come on my show and announce your commitment. And I wouldn't blame him, and you couldn't blame me. And we'll be back in a moment.
Some insurance carriers are based in another state or only have an online presence. Not at Farm Bureau Insurance. They're a local South Carolina company that believes commitment comes with a handshake. Become part of the Farm Bureau Insurance family today by calling Buddy Bridges at 864-984-0413 or stop by the Upstate office at 726 East Main Street in Lawrence.
In Columbia, South Carolina, game days are our specialty. Whether you're watching the game from inside the stadium or from the big screen at your favorite local spot, the energy remains the same. Craft the perfect fall Saturday in a city where there is plenty of action on and off the field. From tubing and kayaking to Soda City to rooftop restaurants and plenty barbecue. We're ready when you are. Plan your weekend at experiencecolumbiasc.com.
Set your youth up for a lifetime of financial success with Smart Start from Founders Federal Credit Union. Smart Start products and educational resources help teach kids and teens the basics of saving, budgeting, and smart spending. Help them learn smart money skills to jumpstart their financial journey with Smart Start savings, debit, certificates, and educational resources. Learn more at foundersfcu.com/smartstart. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff program.
Are you playing that for Desmond? He's going to hear that aplenty, probably, Saturday night. All right, back we are, high school scoreboard. Got a full boat of people waiting to report, so let's get to more reports. Appreciate all you folks calling in from games across the state. Let's go to Hugh Gray, voice of the Newberry Bulldogs. And Hugh, welcome into Sports Talk, high school football scoreboard. Great to have you with us. What you got tonight?
Thanks, Phil. Good to be here. Riding back, so I might cut this kind of short. But
sure.
Newberry went down to Swansea tonight. Expected this to be a close game between two teams that were going to have a voice in the region championship. Game started off with Newberry taking the opening possession, and B.J. Jones scores on a 65-yard drive, caps off a 65-yard drive with a 17-yard run. Swansea gets the ball, drives down to the Newberry 10. Newberry's defense stands up there. Swansea fakes the field goal, and it's unsuccessful. Newberry gets the ball at its own 11. That was about the last time Swansea would threaten. Ensuing drive, 6 plays covering the 89 yards. Again, B.J. Jones, 29-yard run, makes it 14-0. I heard that Mike Leach said the air raid offense is about balance, but not balance in yards, but balance in the number of touches by players. Well, Coach Jeter must have that in mind because from here on, 5 touchdowns by 5 different players. 57-yard touchdown pass to C.J. Earl makes it 21-0. Kenton Caldwell to Cash Brown for 44 yards, 28-0. A 21-yard field goal by Daniel Teron makes it 31-0. And just before the half, a 23-yard pass from Kenton Caldwell to Jamel Howes makes it 38-0. And then the half ends. In the second half, not too much goes on because at one point they just started the running clock. Ty Abrams did get in for a touchdown to finish the scoring at 45-0. That's the way it ended, like you mentioned a while ago. But I would want to mention, couldn't go without mentioning, in the first half, Kenton Caldwell was 10 of 10 through the air for Newberry, 288 yards through the air. So I don't know how you get much better than that as a quarterback.
I think they call that perfecto is what they call that. So, Hugh, thank you very much, sir. Great job. We'll talk to you next week.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Phil.
Thank you. All right, let's go to Matt Smith, Smitty, on the call tonight, the voice of the Socastee Braves. I think, ladies and gentlemen, we have to point to Matt Smith as the turnaround factor for the Socastee Braves compared to the previous announcer who could not bring them many wins. Smitty steps in, and all of a sudden, Socastee's becoming a power along the Grand Strand. Hello, Smitty.
Yes. My friend and yours, Chris Bergen, passed the baton to me, and Socastee is playing much better. And, of course, he's the play-by-play voice for Coastal Carolina, and they just fired their offensive coordinator. So just draw your own conclusion.
Yes, I will.
All right. Well, Socastee is playing better, though, Phil, and they've won each of the last 2 weeks after that unscheduled bye from the terrible storms and the terrible damage and everything that was thrown off kilter here in the state of South Carolina. But that bye may be the one good thing that came out of it for some of these teams in the lower part of the state. Socastee is a team that doesn't have a lot of depth, and they've gotten a lot healthier, and they shut out Conway 10-0 last week. And this week they defeat rival St. James in the Battle of 707, 33-20. Probably wasn't as close as the score would indicate. Socastee rolled out to an early lead thanks to a 54-yard interception return from Braden Bollinger. He added a blocked punt later. But he was probably outdone by Socastee's running back, Amari Godfrey, 19 carries, 149 yards, and a touchdown. And that's 2 weeks in a row that Amari Godfrey's gone over the century mark, and he's really become the workhorse, the thoroughbred for Socastee, helping to give that offense some balance. And 2 big wins, so 2-2 in region play with the showdown against Myrtle Beach next week. So I don't have to tell anyone, but if you're not from this part of the state, you don't know the stakes and the rivalries here. Socastee just knocked off Conway last week, St. James this week, and they have Myrtle Beach ahead. So just a lot of swirling emotions surrounding all these games. And I'll tip my cap to the high school league for one thing. This region is fantastic. All of these Horry County teams, Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach, playing this late in the season. And as I just said, the games that Socastee's had coming down the stretch, just, having senior nights with teams that know each other so well, it's really created some intense games, intense rivalries in region play where it counts. So I really enjoying this region, and I know you're reporting those scores. Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach had a good one tonight and an important one. So Socastee's got a big one next week, and I'll call in to report on that, and then we'll start talking playoff destination for the Braves.
You got it, my man. Have a good trip up to Clemson tomorrow. Look forward to your coverage of the Tigers and Louisville, not on Twitter, but on our website. And we'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Talk then.
Matt Smith, voice of Socastee. Yeah, if you're not aware, those of you listening to the Scoreboard show, our Twitter is down.
The other look.
And maybe never coming back. And we'll be back.
personalized blueprint for your growth using the influential stage of the Point Radio. Reach out directly at 563-8558. Teaming with the Point, make this year extraordinary.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-380-4452. 800-380-4452. That's 800-380-4452.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
With SRN News, I'm Ron Taylor. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump hosting dueling rallies within 7 miles of one another tonight in fevered final push for votes in swing states. Wisconsin's largest city, Milwaukee, is home to the most Democratic votes in Wisconsin, but its conservative suburbs are where the most Republicans live and a critical area for Trump as he tries to reclaim the state. The Supreme Court has rejected an emergency appeal from Republicans that could have led to thousands of provisional ballots not being counted in Pennsylvania. The justices earlier today left in place a state Supreme Court ruling that elections officials must count provisional ballots cast by voters whose mail-in ballots were rejected. As of Thursday, about 9,000 ballots out of more than 1.6 million returned have arrived at elections offices around Pennsylvania lacking a secrecy envelope. Lebanese health authorities say that Israel's launched dozens of intense airstrikes across Lebanon's northeastern farming villages earlier today, killing at least 52. This is SRN News.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
Hi, I'm Tazima. Join me every Saturday at 11 a.m. for Small Business Saturday. We'll celebrate business owners in our community while learning their stories of success and failure. It's Small Business Saturday right here at 100.7 The Point.
The weather in Columbia can be unpredictable anytime, but in particular this time of the year. You never really know what the weather's going to do. What we do know is that Bergen Roofing will be there for you and for your Midlands neighbors no matter what the weather brings. Stuart has over 30 years in the roofing industry, and in his time, well, he's seen a little bit of everything. Bergen Roofing hopes that you won't need their services, but you can feel confident that if you should need roofing help, Bergen will respond in a timely manner and in a way that you can expect for a company that has been a Better Business Bureau Torch Award winner and has never received a complaint. Unfortunately, it's also the time you'll see people with clipboards in their hands, new-looking magnets on their truck, knocking on your door trying to take advantage of a very bad situation. Bergen hasn't and will never knock on a door unsolicitedly. Remember, Bergen Roofing for any roofing needs, but especially when bad weather hits. Call Stuart, 798-ROOF, that's 798-7663, or visit them online, bergenroofing.com.
Have you had a broken windshield complement to those South Carolina roads? The insurance company might try to steer you one way, to the big national guy. But remember, it's your choice. Go local. Call Absolute Glass.
We can repair your car back to factory specifications, including recalibrating all of your safety systems. We do great work and have been building long-lasting relationships for over 20 years.
That's why we've been voted Best Glass Company in Lexington for 15 straight years. Visit us online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com or call us at 951-7200. And remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
With 7 locations in the Midlands, Groucho's Deli has been crafting award-winning culinary delights for over 80 years. Bite into the legendary STP Dipper or Apollo and let the unique flavors of My Wife's Salad dressed in our famous Formula 45 sauce enchant you. Don't just dream about it. Taste the hashtag Groucho's goodness today. Whether you're looking for comfort at your doorstep or a cozy corner in our deli, we're always just a click or a step away. Groucho's Deli, your neighborhood deli. Taste the good at Grouchos.com.
Remodeling. Just the thought of it can be a little scary. I'm Eddie Springer of Trey Cow Builders, and we understand. Many of our clients come to us after a bad experience, from no-show contractors to shoddy work. We've seen it all. Trey Cow is different. We do first-class work quickly, cleanly, and affordably. With Trey Cow, remodeling's easy. Call 360-8211, 360-8211, or visit TRE.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the high school football scoreboard across the states. Brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union, Phil Kornblut and Josh Cohen. From our studios in Columbia, David Shelton will be joining us in just a moment or two. Give you a few more finals that have come in. Whitmire 65, Calhoun Falls 22, Woodruff 42, Union County 15, McBee 49, Great Falls 13, Lee Central 48, C.A. Johnson 8, Louisville 37, Lamar 7, Blackville Hilda 20, Wilson Elko 6, Calhoun County 37, Wagner Sally nothing, Woodruff 42, Union County 15. I think I just said that. Silver Bluff 34, Fox Creek 7, Dillon 56-0 over Georgetown, Hanahan 48, Battery Creek 13, Loris 28, Aner 8, and Timberland, as we heard from the coach, 27-9 over Woodland. Phillips Simmons 50, Andrews 22. Sharon 45, Chesterfield 7, Central 38, North Central 7, Crescent 14, Pendleton 0, BHP 49, Walhalla 0, Strom Thurmond 21, 96-7, Batesburg Leesville 28, Saluda 7, and Myrtle Beach over North Myrtle 21-6. Bishop England 35, Colleton County 6, Hilton Head 29, Beaufort 11. Get you more scores in just a little bit. David Shelton coming up in just a second. But as we do here on the scoreboard, as you know, one of our great friends, one of our associates, one of our partners, Touchstone Electric Cooperatives of South Carolina, sponsors of the Touchstone Electric Cooperatives North-South All-Star Football game coming up this year, December 21st in Myrtle Beach. We're checking in with representatives around the state on Friday nights who have been out to ball games in their area. Welcome in Ivan Sanders from over in the Sumter area with the Black River Cooperatives, who was over at the Sumter game tonight. He's also a B-team coach over there at Sumter, so he knows a little football. Hello, Ivan. How are you?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
Terrific. Thank you for joining us. First of all, about the Gamecocks tonight, they had a big night, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. Final score is 65-28. Great game. All the kids got to play tonight.
Yeah. What do you like about this Sumter team this year? I mean, they've been rolling so far. Are we giving them enough respect?
One thing about it, you got to earn respect. And I think, a lot of people look at our schedule, probably say we haven't had many tough games, although we, at the time we beat White Knoll, they were number 3 in the state, our second game of the season. But we're 9-0, 5-0 in the region, and we still rolling. We travel to Ridgeview next Friday night. That should be a good one.
Well, at your size, Sumter, everybody's measured against like Dutch Fork and Somerville and Gaffney.
Dutch Fork.
Yep.
Right.
Can you guys measure up?
I can't wait to see it. I think we'll be there when the dust settles.
I like it. Throwing down the gauntlet.
Yep.
Let's talk a moment about Black River Cooperatives and just your involvement in the community and some of the things that you guys are doing with the schools and with the communities in your line of work as a trustee with the cooperatives.
Okay. Well, here recently, what we've been doing, we just had the storms. So we've been tasked with going different places and helping out other co-ops. But here recently, I've been going around to the different schools, in the 4 counties we serve, and I've been giving the kids awards, the kids who will be attending the Touchstone Energy Bowl. And it's been great. I've been to Camden, South Carolina. I've been to Manning, our 2 high schools here in Sumter. So it's great to see the kids being recognized and just to look in their eyes, just to be able to attend, such a prestigious bowl.
Absolutely. I mean, really, that plaque or whatever you give them, that plaque or trophy, that'll be on their wall or their mantle place probably the rest of their lives.
For sure. And, just looking forward to to that game. But also, when we do the shopping with the kids,
Yep.
that's probably the greatest thing I've ever been a part of. Just seeing those kids, having the opportunity to get what they want basically is priceless.
And with the later date this year, it's going to be right up against Christmas when we do that thing. So that'll
right
be pretty
against
cool.
Christmas. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Santa Claus will be coming early.
That's
That's the 21st, though. Yeah.
right. It'll be real. I mean, usually it's like the week before. So, I mean, kids will be real anxious and excited. So, well, we thank you for joining us tonight. What's your record as the B team coach? You still undefeated?
No, we weren't undefeated with the B team, but we finished strong. We were 4-2 this year. Lost our first 2, won the next 4.
So you got momentum. Are you the head coach of the B team?
I am the head coach.
All right. Hope you got a nice long-term contract.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, thank you, Ivan. Talk to you again. See you at the beach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look forward to it.
Thank you, sir. All right, Ivan Sanders from the Black River Cooperatives, part of Touchstone Energy Cooperatives here in South Carolina. We thank him for being with us. Let's welcome in David Shelton. Never lost a football game that he coached in his days, at least in his mind. Hello, David. Welcome in.
Hey, what's up?
How was your game tonight? Who won?
Wando defeated Lucy Beckham for their first time ever in 3 games. They beat them 10-7. So they won the Sweetgrass Trophy, and the Lucy Beckham principal had to kiss a goat. And that was a highlight of the night, but it was not a lot of offense, but just enough. Really good defenses got after it pretty good. Wando got a late field goal with about 4.5 minutes to go up 10-7, and then held them at the end. And good win for them. Good win for Wando. They're 5-5 under first-year coach Isaiah Perrin, and they won 5 games the last 2 years combined. So he has really got those kids playing with confidence. They're not great. I mean, when you watch the game, it's like, they're not a great football team, but they play hard. And that's what they did tonight. Both teams just played really, really hard. And it was 6,000 people there. I mean, it's kind of odd. I was thinking about it watching, Mount Pleasant is not a quote unquote football town. It's more of a, soccer, tennis, but man, they come out for that game. That's 3 years in a row they've had 6,000 people, a sellout for that game. So pretty impressive. The fan, I mean, I would say 3,000 people probably didn't know what they were watching, but they were there and they were making a lot of noise, and it was a good atmosphere.
What's the goat thing from?
Something somebody started when they started playing each other, 3 years ago. Lucy Beckham's only 4 years old, so they just decided that they would kiss a goat. I don't know the backstory, but it really wasn't a good kiss. It wasn't an R-rated kiss at all.
No.
I was.
Nope. David. There you go.
I was.
Nope. David, you're breaking up, so I'm going to jump in till you get a little bit better cell connection there. You're kind of in and out. Hang on, David. Let's go to Taylor Novinger, the voice of Crestwood, one of the rivals of Sumter. We just heard about Sumter and their big win. Taylor, your guys got a big win tonight as well.
Yes, sir, Phil. I've been doing play-by-play by myself the entire year, but I got a new partner. So I got Coach Fullwood. He played at Clemson back in the 80s, and he is coached at Hillcrest Middle. A lot of former players of his coach on the team, so it was also really fun calling with him tonight for a color guy. Crestwood did really good. They had a lot of penalties in the first half, so it was only 14-0 at halftime. They came out in the second half and just ran the score up. Just had a lot of physical runs by Damian Belton, Jeremy Richardson, and Eric Wolford got in 2 scores. Player of the game is Deshaun Scriven. Scriven had 2 interceptions in the first half, and then in the second half had a pick 6 to put the Knights up 42-0. to end the third quarter, and the Knights won 42-7. They kind of put some backups in there, and Lakewood, scored a touchdown late. Lakewood's coach, Phil, Willie Alford, he got ejected in the third quarter. He was arguing about some call that I still don't understand what he was arguing about, but he was ejected, so that was entertaining.
I bet. All right, how's Crestwood looking heading towards the playoffs?
They're looking better. One thing that they've got to cut down on is the penalties, procedural, holding. They've got to get that together. But I was really impressed tonight, Phil, with the defense. They've got a really good linebacker, Quayshawn McMillan. I think if they can get the offense, to sustain drives, I think they'll be all right come time for the playoffs. And speaking of Sumter, Coach, I'll be in Sumter. I'll do the Sumter Ridgeview game next week. So
great.
I'm filling in for a game.
We'll look to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Taylor. Great job as always. We appreciate it. Let's get one more before we hit our break. A lot of folks are standing by. And we will go to Dennis Brunson from the Prep Red Zone and High School Sports Report. Sorry, Dennis. High School Sports Report. And he was over there watching Sumter tonight as well. So, man, you saw the Gamecocks roll it up pretty big tonight.
Yeah, Phil, how you doing, man?
Good.
They I've just got some numbers for you.
Okay.
With Coach Sanders talking and all, Sumter had 587 yards of total offense, 416 on the ground, 39 plays, so that was an average of over 15 yards of play. So basically, they were pretty close to an explosive play on every one of their
Amazing.
plays.
Amazing.
I mean, yeah, and they were they just got it rolling. That triple options, very good. Franklin Richardson, the quarterback, he's he doesn't run it that much, but when he does, it's usually for some big yards. He had 3 carries, 66 yards a night. And then they've got John Peebles and Cam Fortune, who both went over 100 yards. Let's see, John had 12 carries, 120 yards. Cam, 7 carries, 111 yards. And they've been splitting the time up in the backfield a little bit since John was out a couple of games with some injuries, and Cam came in and had that big 200-yard game in his absence, and Sumter's offensive line is just, they're dominant up front right now. They're 9-0, 4-0 in the region, I believe it is. And did Ridgeview end up beating Blythewood? Do you know?
Do not have a final in on that one yet.
Okay, I know Ridgeview was up. If Ridgeview wins, when they play Sumter next week, that'll be for the region title. They'll both be undefeated in the region. And I know Mark Barnes, talking to him, he was Ridgeview concern, was a concern of his, definitely. He thought he knows they have a lot of talent, and so he was seeing this one as being a big game, and that's what it's looking like. But Sumter's playing very good ball. I mean, I think they've got a great chance to be in the state championship game. I know they've got to get through Somerville and all that. Dutch Fork, if my knowledge is correct, is upstate, so that's out the way. You'd like to play Dutch Fork in the state championship game if you could, but so we'll see. But they're playing really good football. Been doing it all season, but it seems like they're really kicking it into gear. They gave up 28 points, but 14 of those came in the fourth quarter with the second and third teamers on the field. And they've got USC commitment Anthony Addison, great player, Shrine Bowl player, and then a young man Burson, JB Burson, who's just a junior outside linebacker, and he's having a really great season for him. He's contributes in many different ways. Picks, tackles for loss, different things. He just had a very strong season for him.
Dennis, as always, we appreciate it, my man. Look forward to hearing from you next week. Great job as always.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you. All right, Dennis Brunson, High School Sports Report. Read his stuff, hssr.com. Thank you for that report. By the way, David, the always trustworthy score stream has given us a score tonight of Riverside 120, Spartanburg 35.
Wow, big win.
And we'll be right back.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
Set your youth up for a lifetime of financial success with Smart Start from Founders Federal Credit Union. Smart Start products and educational resources help teach kids and teens the basics of saving, budgeting, and smart spending. Help them learn smart money skills to jumpstart their financial journey with Smart Start savings, debit, certificates, and educational resources. Learn more at foundersfcu.com/smartstart. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosteller Brown. Did you know it's possible to avoid probate court after you die, regardless of what you own? Why put your loved ones through a long, stressful public process when there are better options for your family? Visit lawyerlisa.com to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Touchstone Energy Cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
We are back on the high school football scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Chapman beat Broome last night, 49-28. Man over Greenville, 55-12. In the fourth quarter, we've got Ashley Ridge over West Ashley, 47-41. Maybe David has a final on that. In the second half, Ridgeview was leading Blythewood 14-7. Burns beat Boiling Springs 27-22. Carolina Forest 42-0 over Conway. Late, Irmo 55 over Chapin 21, 55-21. Clover defeats Catawba Ridge 34-21. Dorman 35, Eastside 7. Dutch Fork 41, River Bluff 14. You nailed it, David. I think you said they'd score 14. That's what they got. Nation Ford 27, Fort Mill 23. Gaffney 43-0 over Wade Hampton. White Knoll 35-14 over Lexington. Northwestern 45-0 over Indian Land. James Island 53-0 over Stall. Socastee 33-20 over St. James. Back to reports. Appreciate everybody standing by as we go next to, is it Eric? Eric Sprott up in Seneca at the Journal. Upstate. What do you officially call the website? Is it Upstate?
UpstateToday.com. You were on the right track.
I was close. UpstateToday.com. Thank you, Eric, for joining us. Belton Honey-A-Path tonight. You're watching those guys. They took it to Walhalla pretty strongly.
Yes, they did. 49-0. So BHP clinched the region title, and that's 2 in a row for them. First time since 05 and 06. So they had a big night over here tonight.
How was the running back Henderson?
Well, it was pretty quiet for him because of really big plays in the third phase tonight. BHP had a pick six and a punt return score, and then Mr. Henderson got in on that special teams fun himself. He had a 97-yard punt return score with 4 seconds left till halftime. That made it 35-0. That was the longest punt return in BHP history. So it had been kind of quiet for him. He did have a short rushing touchdown. It was just 1 yard, but he really showed out on that big return.
Boy, I tell you what, I wonder if Clemson will use him at safety or try him at running back.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see what they end up doing with him. I think he could be great in the secondary. I'm not sure he has that size for running back at the next level, but he's a special kid, no doubt about it. So we'll see what happens.
How about up your way tonight, too? You had Daniel beating Greer 48-21.
Yeah, so that sets up Daniel pretty nicely to take the region title next week. They're going to go over to Seneca. Seneca can force a little bit of madness if they can get a win. I think that would force a three-way tie. But Daniel's in the catbird seat now, and I didn't get too many details on Daniel tonight, but I did see the quarterback, Grayson Clary, young guy, sophomore, 29 of 33, 354 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Ooh.
So he had a heck of a night.
That is impressive. I'm looking, Seneca off tonight?
Seneca was off tonight. They were able to rest up after that 3 games in 9-day stretch. So I know they were probably happy to take a night off tonight. The only other game we had, West Oak added a game back that they missed from Helene. They played the Greenville Hurricanes, just a homeschool team based out of Greer. West Oak won that 26-3.
West Oak, let me put that down, 26. And they were playing what are they called, the Greenville Hurricanes?
Greenville Hurricanes, ironically enough, for making up a game missed by a Hurricane.
26-3, that final?
That's correct.
Would you tell me again about the Daniel quarterback name and what he did?
Yeah, Grayson Clary, 29 of 33, 354 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
Wow. Probably get player of the week up your way, huh?
I think he's in the lead for that one. I think so, yeah. But he's an interesting young prospect. He's got a couple of offers already, and I know Liberty's one of them. I'm blanking on the others. I want to say maybe App State, but he kind of got those on the camp circuit over the summer. So he's somebody we're watching really close. We're kind of expecting his recruiting to take off in a big way here at some point.
Very good, sir. We thank you. Have a great weekend.
All right, Phil, you do the same.
Thank you. Appreciate the call. Eric Sprott from up in Seneca. All right, David, what are you thinking about from what you've been hearing?
Daniel quarterback's pretty good. And I'm looking, I guess Chris Daring might have been at the Batesburg Saluda game, so he'll probably call in after the top of the hour, and I'm looking forward to hearing the details of that. It sounded like, from what I saw, that Saluda had zero opportunity to run the football against Batesburg-Leesville. And that's been the modus operandi. Batesburg-Leesville does not give up yards on the ground. But, yeah, I mean, not a lot of upsets. Still waiting on some finals from some bigger games. But Hartsville with a big win tonight against South Lawrence. That was an impressive showing.
Big offensive night for them. Like I said, you nailed it on the Dutch Fork game tonight.
Yeah. I mean, when you're only giving up 2.4 points a game, you know.
Yeah. All right. Hang on. We'll let you talk more about that and others when we come back. Top of the hour break.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor. The latest polling in battleground states and the country overall show former President Donald Trump taking a lead over Vice President Kamala Harris as Election Day draws closer. Details from reporter Bernie Bennett.
In key battleground states like Arizona and Nevada, Trump leads Harris 48% to 47%. Conversely, the Democratic nominee leads the Republican candidate 48 to 47% in New Mexico and Colorado. One poll has them tied in Pennsylvania, another has Trump leading there, and two other polls have Harris ahead. Harris leads Trump in Michigan and Wisconsin, and one poll has her leading multiple candidates in Virginia. North Carolina, still recovering from hurricane damage, sees Trump leading the vice president 50 to 47%, and a new poll from Tip Insights has Trump leading Harris by 1 point, 49 to 48% nationwide. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
The Supreme Court has allowed Pennsylvania to count contested provisional ballots, rejecting a Republican plea.
The Supreme Court rejected an emergency appeal from Republicans that could have led to thousands of provisional ballots not being counted in Pennsylvania. The justices left in place a state Supreme Court ruling that election officials must count provisional ballots cast by voters whose mail-in ballots were rejected. The ruling is a victory for voting rights advocates who had sought to force counties, primarily Republican-controlled counties, to let voters cast a provisional ballot on Election Day if they had realized that their mail-in ballot was to be rejected for various garden variety errors, including missing signatures or dates. I'm Norman Hall.
Also at townhall.com, Lebanese health authorities say Israel has launched dozens of intense airstrikes across Lebanon's northeastern farming villages earlier today, killing at least 52 people and wounding 72 others. In central Gaza, Palestinians recovered the bodies of 25 in a barrage of airstrikes. You'll find more online at townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor.
Right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MediShare members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before November 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee, so you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is November 15th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number, 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE, 844-41-BIBLE.
As the leaves change from green to gold and brown and the daylight hours start to get shorter, it's time to roll back the clocks. Correspondent Jackie Quinn reports on daylight savings time ending this weekend.
The good news, we get an extra hour of sleep when we turn the clocks back an hour at 2 a.m. Sunday. The bad news is it'll be much darker by later afternoon in most parts of the United States. Some health groups, including the American Medical Association, want to do away with the twice-a-year time changes, saying just staying with standard time and aligning with the sun's patterns is better for the human body. 2 states, Arizona and Hawaii, don't change the clocks. They stay on standard time. Daylight saving time returns March 9th. I'm Jackie Quinn.
You'll find breaking news and analysis, more headlines, and more stories at townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor.
This is Ian with AccuClean. Regular carpet, rug, and upholstery cleaning isn't just about keeping them looking beautiful and smelling fresh. It can also help to extend their life, which in turn saves money in the long run. Check out AccuClean today for our other services, such as mattress sanitation, odor and enzyme treatments, and leather cleaning and conditioning. Call AccuClean today at 803-957-1202 for all your carpet cleaning needs and more. Once again, that's AccuClean at 803-957-1202. I'll see you soon.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
It's a Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard with Phil Kornblut and David Shelton. We've got all the scores from across the state, plus game reports and interviews with coaches. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, let's head to the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia. Here's Phil Kornblut.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour number 2. High School Football Scoreboard brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Great to have you with us. Let's catch up on all the scores. We've got almost everything in the house at this point. Then more David Shelton and more reports. And let's begin with scores from the upstate tonight. And before I do that, I just want to see if I can locate one more score. If you would, see if you can hunt down for me Westside and Wren. Need that final to complete the upstate, so see if you can hunt that down. Upstate, Abbeville 69, Ware Shoals nothing. Belton Honea Path 49, Walhalla nothing. Blue Ridge 48, Berea 20. Liberty 45, Blacksburg 22. Chapman 49, Broome 28. Burns 27, Boiling Springs 22. Whitmire 65, Calhoun Falls 22. Clover 34, Catawba Ridge 21. Crescent 14, Pendleton nothing. Daniel 48, Greer 21. Dorman 35, Eastside 7. Woodmont 38, Easley 35. Emerald 26, Lawrence 17. McBee 49, Great Falls 13. Greenwood 38, Hillcrest 15. Northwestern 45, Indian Land nothing. J.L. Mann 55, Greenville 12. Chesney 44, Landrum 34. Louisville 37, Lamar 7. T.L. Hanna 50, Malden 16. Dixie 48, McCormick nothing. Nation Ford 27, Fort Mill 23. Crescent 14, Pendleton nothing. Powdersville 28, St. Joseph's 21. Spartanburg 56, Riverside 20. That's the actual score. Fountain Inn 55, Southside 28. Pickens 56, Travelers Rest nothing. Gaffney 43, Wade Hampton nothing. Westside 56, Wren 28. Thank you, Josh. Woodruff 42, Union County 15. Lancaster 34, York 13. West Oak 26, the Greenville Hurricanes 3. Midlands, South Aiken 26, Aiken 14. Bamberg Earhart 36, Denmark-Oler 26. Barnwell 21, Well Branch 14. Ridgeview 21, Blythewood 7. Brooklyn Casey 49, Airport 14. Andrew Jackson 49, Buford 7. Camden 44, AC Flora 21. Fairfield Central 48, Eau Claire nothing. Silver Bluff 34, Fox Creek 7. Gray Collegiate 42, Gilbert nothing. Hunter Connor Tyler 60, Ridge Spring Monetta 8. Crestwood 42, Lakewood 7. North Augusta 45, Midland Valley 21. South Point 56, Richland Northeast 6. Dutch Fork. Didn't we have a different score on this? Dutch Fork had 40-something. We have 28-14, but it was 40-something to 14. I think it was 41 to 14. That's what I saw. Let's double-check that. Batesburg-Leesville beat Saluda, but all I got is 7 for Saluda. What was Batesburg-Leesville? Do you remember? We have an incomplete score there. Let's get that filled in. Strom-Thurmond 20, 96-7. Sumter 65, Westwood 28. Newberry 45, Swansea nothing. Calhoun County 37, Wagner Sally nothing. White Knoll 35, Lexington 14. And Blackville Hilda 20, Williston Elko 6.
I got that score. The Batesburg-Leesville is 28, Saluda 7.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We need Columbia, Mid-Carolina, American Leadership, and Pelion. If you got that score, you can text us. You don't have to call us. You can text us. Our text line 803-900-4847. David, have you tried to text us yet? on our Sports Talk text line at 803-900-4847.
I try not to talk to you except on Fridays.
Well, this is texting. You don't have to talk to me via text.
Same thing.
Okay.
I'm not texting your text line. I mean, I will text your regular phone,
Yeah.
the one that I have. That didn't get hacked, did it?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Oh, boy. I think we're off of Twitter forever. In the PD Grand Strand, Kingstree 44, Atlantic Collegiate nothing. Loris 28, Aner 8. Carolina Forest 42, Conway nothing. Central 38, North Central 7. Sharaw 40, Chesterfield 7. Darlington 36, Wilson 20. Dillon 56, Georgetown nothing. Lakeview 51, Green Sea Floyd's 8. Hartsville 54, South Florence 35. Hannah Pamplico 55, Hemingway 6. Manning 24, Lake City 18. Latta 48, Johnsonville 14. Lee Central 48, C.A. Johnson 8. East Clarendon 42, Marion 22. Myrtle Beach 21, North Myrtle Beach 6. Socastee 33, St. James 20. David, Waccamaw, Marlboro County canceled. Was that result of the hearing this week or other reasons?
Yeah, pretty much. Marlboro County has no reason to play any more games.
They're just done. They're just kaputs, huh?
Yeah, I mean, the season's over. They can't make the playoffs, and they probably just figured, we got all this mess going on all week. I mean, I guess they're going to appeal that playoff thing, but
yeah,
I guess they didn't have to play.
Yeah. You think Waccamaw claims that as a forfeit, or just canceled?
Yeah, that will be a forfeit.
That will be a forfeit. Oh, we've had a lot of forfeits this year. Thank you very much. Okay, we got to get more in the Low Country here. We're very weak in the Low Country here for some reason. We'll update the Low Country scoreboard here in a little bit, but Cane Bay beat Goose Creek 28-22. Bishop England 35, Colleton County 6. Bluffton 24, May River 21. James Island 60, make that 53. Stall nothing, and Wando 10. Lucy Becker 7. I've given more scores, just don't have them plotted yet, so we need to get that up to date. And Skeeza, Bethesda 40, St. John's Christian 15. Thomas Hayward 49, Buford Academy 25. PD Academy 54, Dillon Christian 28. Hilton Head Christian 43, Hilton Head Prep 3. Jefferson Davis 12, Holly Hill Academy nothing. Pinewood Prep 69, John Paul II 21. Lawrence Academy 40, King Academy 26. Patrick Henry 34, Andrew Jackson Academy nothing. Florence Christian 16, Trinity Christian 10, and Wilson Hall 46, First Baptist 7. So we got some Skeezas to get in there as well. Low Country and Skeeza need to get those plotted. Okay. Those are the scores to the moment. Let's get back to our reporters. Man, we appreciate everybody calling in to give us reports tonight. David Shelton is standing by. And we're going to go to where are we going? I don't see the new
We're going to go
list.
to Kevin. I forgot his last name. And Tio Hannah.
Oh, Kevin Selman up at Anderson, voice of T.L. Hannah, joining us tonight with the story on the Yellow Jackets. Big win. Been a little while, my friend. Good to have you back with us.
Phil, thank you for having me. I tell you, I was thinking about this while I was on hold. This is the first time we've talked since September the 20th, and this is the first Friday night game that Hannah has played since September the 20th, which is, 2 months ago. We've our last 4 games were on a Saturday, a Thursday, a Tuesday, and a Saturday. So that's caused us to not be able to communicate with these updates for you. But nevertheless, glad to be back on Friday nights again, and big win for the Yellow Jackets tonight over the Mavs from Malden.
Typical win for them as far as just grinding it out on the ground?
Yeah, I would like to call it a balanced effort, and a balanced effort for Hannah is about 400 yards on the ground and about 100 yards in the air. We had 2 running backs tonight go over 100 yards. Katie Patterson and Daylon Williams, both with over 100 yards. Katie Patterson, who is the reigning Anderson Area Touchdown Club Offensive Player of the Week, he had 3 touchdowns tonight. Our quarterback, Brandon Cunningham, he passed for a score to our tight end, Walker Kelly. So it was a big night all around for the Jackets, and we look forward to next Friday night, where if we're able to defeat Hillcrest next week, we'll win the Region 1 5A for the 4th consecutive year. And the big feather in our cap was that, we missed it while we were on all these off nights, but we pretty much wore out JL Man a couple of weeks ago, which looked to be the team to beat in the upstate for a while.
Well, listen, I know you guys kind of had your up and down moments this year, mostly up, but you're not to be discounted when it comes to the postseason for sure.
Absolutely. The Jackets are a very young football team this year. No excuses. Just it is what it is. I remember after the Greenwood game we talked. This is the first time in 5 years, and this is an amazing stat to me anyway, first time in 5 years that Tijuana has lost more than one game in the regular season. So we're 7-2, and that's the first time, like I said, in 5 years since we've lost more than one game in the regular season. Have a chance to win the region next week if we can defeat Hillcrest. And the way the playoffs set up and the way the breakdown and all the projections are, we'd be the number 2 seed behind Northwestern. We're in Division 2 5A. I believe that's how it's termed. So we would have home field all the way throughout the playoffs if we're able to win next Friday night and continue to win. It seems like every year when they get in the playoffs, we always seem to draw Gaffney somewhere, somehow. And we've had some success against Gaffney in years past, but that's how it's looking right now. That's the outlook. But this is a young football team that looks a lot better after 9 games than it did after 2, and that's a credit to Coach Tone and his coaching staff. But as always, an exciting time for Tijuana football.
Absolutely, sir. We thank you. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the Clemson game tomorrow night.
Yep, we'll see you there.
Thank you. Well, you won't see me. I'll be at Carolina tomorrow night, but you'll see Smitty if you look for him.
Okay.
He'll be up there.
Sounds good.
Thank you, pal. Good talking to you. Let's go quickly because folks are standing by. We appreciate everybody with the reports tonight. Justin Mathis up with us next. Details on that Dorman win tonight. And he also took in the Chapman game last night. So you did a little doubleheader action the last couple of nights.
Oh, yeah, nothing like just, I guess, living on the wild side a little bit, Phil, during football season.
Absolutely. What about Dorman tonight? Big, dominating win.
Oh, yeah, and it was senior night here at Cavalier Stadium, so we had fall sports that was recognized for the game, and then band and a couple other groups were recognized at halftime. But all in all, a great night for the Cavaliers to close out the regular season. Bryce O'Neal, the senior quarterback, completed 11 of 16 passes for 146 yards and a score, which was caught by Keenan Arcega-Whiteside on a beautiful slant pattern for an 11-yard score. Keenan had 3 grabs for 29 yards. Also had Chase Cheeks, 2 receptions for 57. In the running game, my goodness, Dorman continues to chew up yardage in the ground game. Nick Means had a big night. 15 carries, $129 on the ground. Also, Najee Fowler, 9 carries, 48 yards, and 2 scores. He's the bruiser in the backfield. And also had Deshaun Watkins-Hines, who took a little end around in for a score. But all in all, great night for Dorman offensively. They were so close to getting a shutout, but the second unit for the Cavaliers had a turnover there inside their own 15, and the East Side was able to score there with the quarterback Schrader with about just 2:53 to go, which made it 35-7. But also last night, Chapman and Broome Region 3 3A finale for Chapman. Panthers won 49-28. They had a big ground attack spearheaded by quarterback Josiah Moore. I had him at 13 carries for 124 and a touchdown. Also, junior running back for Chapman, Justin Dawkins, whose nickname is, get this, Phil, Rambo.
Love it. Love it.
He had a 25-carry, 186-yard, and 2 touchdown performance last night in Chapman's win over the Broome Centurions.
Fantastic. And the Arcega-Whiteside kid you mentioned at Dorman, got to believe that's the brother of the NFL receiver?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And he's a good one too, huh?
Yes, he's a great kid all around. Great athlete, very big wingspan. I mean, good night. He caught a beautiful fade pass for a fade route for a touchdown a couple weeks ago, and I'm sure brought back some memories for the Cavalier faithful, of JJ doing that same thing.
All right,
So,
Justin. Hey, man.
Have a great night.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Great job. Before we hit the break, go to David Shelton. And thoughts on things you just heard from those reports, David? What stood out to you?
No upsets or anything. I mean, I think Hanna is starting to put it together as they normally do at the end. Not sure if they're experienced enough to make a deep run in the playoffs, as you heard Kevin say. They were a little young, but every win is a good win, and they could tie for the region title if they could win next week. So, good job by Hanna.
Have you heard anything? I'm trying to get a few of these low country scores. We had that high scoring game going on between West Ashley, Ashley Ridge. Have you picked up a final on that one?
I have not, but I can do it during the break.
Yeah. See if you can put your eyes on that. We're trying to do the same thing. We're going to go to the break, and we'll come back with more reports. So
if you go to
oh, David, man,
go to Ashley Ridge. Go to Ashley Ridge Max Prep football and click on the game, and they do a running score, so they'll have it.
That's some pickup you got in that car, man. I think really.
That's not me, bro. That's some guy in a Ford 850,000 tank.
Not you drive an electric car anyway. What am I thinking of? We'll be back after the break.
Farm Bureau insurance agents live and work right in our community. They're not at the end of some 1-800 number thousands of miles away. The personalized attention, competitive rates, and a reputation for fast, fair claim service sets Farm Bureau insurance apart from the competition. For your auto, home, and life insurance needs, trust Farm Bureau Insurance. In Clinton and Lawrence, give Buddy Bridges a call at 864-984-0413 or stop by the office at 726 East Main Street in Lawrence to see how local makes a difference.
Founders Federal Credit Union believes in empowering future generations, helping to provide our youth a smart start as they begin their financial journey. Discover Smart Start by Founders. Start off with Smart Start savings with a low minimum balance of just $5. Teach responsible spending with a free debit card, text alerts, and no minimum balance. Jumpstart a lifetime of saving and investing with a Smart Start 12-month certificate featuring flexible deposits. Start with just $100 and add more deposits at any time. Finally, dive in deeper with fun educational resources. Founders is excited to team up with you with resources and support to give our youth a smart start towards a brighter tomorrow. Learn more at foundersfcu.com/smartstart. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hostetler Brown. Helping an aging loved one arrange for their care can be one of the most difficult things you will ever do. Fortunately, you don't have to navigate this maze alone. Lawyer Lisa's knowledgeable life care team can lead you down the right path. Visit lawyerlisa.com to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef, it's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff program.
All right, ask for it, you shall receive. Ashley Ridge has beaten West Ashley 47-41. Let's get back to reporters. And my goodness, are we stepping up in class as we welcome in. Is this the first time he's ever done a report on the high school scoreboard? Former sports announcer here in Columbia and at Coastal Carolina, then the AD at Coastal Carolina, now a professor emeritus at Coastal Carolina, the one, the only Matt Hogue with Myrtle Beach High School.
David, Corn, we go back to the 1990s. I don't think this is the first report ever, but it's been probably close to 3 decades.
Probably. Hey, we're glad you're coming back down the ladder to our level. We appreciate that.
There you go. Crash Davis hit a lot of home runs down at AAA, so I'm going to try to catch him.
How are you, my friend? It's great to have you with us.
I'm doing great, sitting in for Lane Harris tonight. Myrtle Beach Seahawks, a solid win on the road at North Myrtle Beach, and this a game that I think was forecasted to have a lot of points scored, but it didn't go that way. A defensive battle tonight, no points until late in the third quarter. North Myrtle Beach went up 7-0, and then things got real interesting as actually 6-0. Myrtle Beach immediately answered with a touchdown run from Antonio Brown to go up 7-6. And then we got into the fourth quarter. The Seahawks seemed to have control, lined up for a field goal, had it blocked from 34 yards out. Stage was set for North Myrtle Beach to stay unbeaten in Region 6-5A. And they threw a touchdown or an interception for a touchdown, returned 71 yards for Myrtle Beach by Israel Brown to put the Seahawks up actually 15-6. They ended up getting a 2-point conversion on a botched snap to go up 15-6 with about 2 1/4 left in the ball game in the fourth quarter. And on the very next scrimmage play, another pick six for Mickey Wilson's defense. This time Jamarcus Carroll, 48 yards out. 21-6, Myrtle Beach would get the win tonight, and it spoiled a great effort by North Myrtle Beach running back Drew Prince, who rushed 36 times for 187 yards, and the only touchdown tonight for the Chiefs. So Mickey Wilson challenged his defense last week when they gave up 52 to Carolina Forest, and they responded tonight. One footnote, guys, this bears watching over the next couple of weeks and into the playoffs. Myrtle Beach quarterback Gibson Goodrow left the game in the final minute of the first half tonight after getting hit on a targeting play. He did not return. Tanner Gaddy went the rest of the way for the Seahawks and helped lead them to the victory. So we'll be watching that this week. He was having a very strong season, closing in on close to 2,000 yards passing and really handling Mickey Wilson's offense well. John Simmons, the best target for the Seahawks this year, who is drawing a lot of interest. David, I'm sure that's a name that you guys know that you're following. He stepped up big tonight, 8 catches, 148 yards, but a solid win for the Seahawks on the road.
Absolutely, and they needed one. And, man, it's great hearing from you. You're as smooth as ever. Real quick, I want to run something by you. We got about a minute. So everybody needs a touchdown call, and you teach people how to do play-by-play. So South Carolina desperately needs one. I've come up with this. Tell me if you like it. 3rd and 7 from the 14, and there's the pass to the end zone by Sellers, and he hits Bennett for the touchdown for 17 yards. The Gamecocks score, and that's going to leave a scar. Scar, S-C-A-R. That's going to leave a scar. Huh? What do you think?
That's impressive, Phil, but I think more impressive, I hear just some faint hints of Bob Fulton coming out of that voice.
A little bit of, I didn't say sophomore. The sophomore from Greenville with the touchdown.
52 yards in from the near sideline. Hold, we'll place it down.
Great memories, great memories. Hey, make sure you call again. Kick Lane off the broadcast and you take over.
Will do. The pro bono work may have to stop after a few weeks.
I hear you. Everybody wants to get paid. Thank you, buddy.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
All right,
see you. Matt Hogue, longtime friend, great announcer, truly a terrific announcer, and now doing some wonderful things at Coastal, and we'll be back.
And Doug. Customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. After that, you can also save me, as I'm currently hanging from the edge of a cliff. To recap, number 1, customize and save. Number 2, time allowing, save me.
Shoulders separating!
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Rita, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here!
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
With SRN News, I'm Ron Taylor. Lebanese health authorities say that Israel has launched dozens of intense airstrikes across Lebanon's northeastern farming villages on Friday, killing at least 52 people and wounding 72 others. In central Gaza, Palestinians recovered the bodies of 25 people killed in a barrage of Israeli aerial attacks that began Thursday. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump hosted dual rallies within 7 miles of each other last night as in a fevered final push for votes in swing states. Wisconsin's largest city, Milwaukee, home to the most Democratic votes in Wisconsin, but its conservative suburbs are where most Republicans live and are a critical area for Trump as he tries to reclaim the state. The Supreme Court's rejected an emergency appeal from Republicans that could have led to thousands of provisional ballots not being counted in Pennsylvania. The justices earlier today left in place a state Supreme Court ruling that election officials must count provisional ballots cast by voters whose mail-in ballots were rejected. This is SRN News.
Want to hear my success story? I'm Fran Halloran, the money coach. I'm celebrating a decade of partnering with The Point. It's one of the best decisions I ever made. I've used The Point to significantly grow my small business. It started with a meeting with Kevin Cohen. Do you own a small business? Are you on a limited budget? No problem. Reach out to Kev at 563-8558. Get a customized plan and start your journey to business growth with The Point today. Success is one call away. Take the leap.
The Panthers have the return game this Sunday versus New Orleans as the Saints come to Charlotte for a rematch with Bryce Young and Derek Carr announced as the starting quarterbacks this week. I'm Jim Zoki with a Panthers update after this.
The only way to be your best self is with your best health. When you have a health partner who doesn't just treat part of you, they care for all of you. That's why more people prefer Atrium Health, because unrivaled care is easier, more accessible, and more complete than ever before, so that you can enjoy more of the moments you love. That's what it means to live meaningfully, to live joyfully, to live fully with Atrium Health.
Panthers host the Saints on Sunday at essentially the midway point of the regular season. The regular season began with the Carolina Panthers losing in New Orleans 47-10 back on September the 8th, with Bryce Young and Derek Carr the starting quarterbacks that day. And they'll be the starting quarterbacks again for this one due to various health circumstances. Bryce Young will make his second start in a row and fourth of the season with Andy Dalton's thumb injury. He was asked about where things are now for him and the team as he threw for just 161 yards with 2 interceptions in that first outing.
Yeah, it's a week-to-week league. We have a ton of respect for them. Put a plan together, but we go in with respect. But we have to do everything we can throughout the week to earn the right to go out and play well. We know it's going to take everything, but we also have confidence in ourselves.
Meanwhile, Derek Carr is back after missing 3 games with an oblique injury. He led the Saints to that opening day victory with 3 touchdown passes. But Panthers cornerback J.C. Horn says the benching of his fellow Gamecock Spencer Rattler doesn't change much for the defensive approach.
No, and that's my man. I ain't doing that to talk down on Derek Carr, but for me, it don't change much. Any quarterback can bomb you, and throw in this league. Every quarterback can make the throws. So we got to be on our job regardless of who the quarterback is.
I'm Jim Zoki on the Carolina Panthers Radio Network, brought to you by Morris Jenkins.
Someone will be right with you. Please continue to hold. The Point.
Doubt we'll hear that very much tomorrow. They're going to get rolled by Georgia. No doubt about it. You heard it from me first. All right, welcome back. High School Scoreboard. Filling in the finals we haven't given you. Pillion over American Leadership, 28-6. That's a new score in. And Somerville did beat Fort Dorchester, 50-21. Had not given you that one. And Augusta Christian, 20. Ben Lippen, 6. Northwood Academy, 34. Heathwood Hall, 13. Richard Wynn, 60. Wardlaw Academy, 14. Outside of that, we've got pretty much everything else in the house tonight. Just a couple, just one really. If we've got this right, we've got Columbia playing Mid-Carolina. But the state newspaper scoreboard has Columbia playing Fairfield Central. We've got Fairfield Central beating Eau Claire 48-0.
I have final scores on the score stream that have our scoreboard correct.
Okay, well, I don't trust them.
Originally, our scoreboard matched the state.
Yeah.
And I switched it because the scores were final, if that makes sense.
Well, I don't trust Score Stream. I trust the state more. But, David, I guess this is we're seeing like a lot of switcheroos of games here, making up for what was missed earlier in the season, I guess.
Yeah, people are still doing it now. Most of the games we knew about. I didn't know about those because they're in the Midlands. I didn't really track it, but there are a couple of games here next week that would have been the final games this week, but there'll be a couple of games next week. And as it turns out, with Cane Bay beating Goose Creek tonight, there'll be some region implications in the games next week between Stratford and Goose Creek and Berkeley and Cane Bay.
And we're finally getting a look here at some of those finals from down your way that we haven't gotten to. So let me hit these up. We've got, let's see here. We did that. Oceanside Collegiate 46, Orangeburg Wilkinson nothing. We've got Hanahan 48, Battery Creek 13, Academic Magnet 13, Burke 12. And make sure I'm reading. Yeah. These are tonight. Timberland 27, Woodland 9. We had that earlier. Philip Simmons 50, Andrews 22, Cross 36, Baptist Hill nothing. Scotts Branch 34, Military Magnet 16, Portugal 52, Lawrence Manning 22, Pinewood Prep 69, John Paul II 21, Wilson Hall 45, First Baptist 7, and Williamsburg 45, Dorchester Academy 22, Bethesda 40, St. John's Christian 15. Okay, let's continue. Next up, we have Garrett Mitchell, who was with Union County tonight. Woodruff and Union County. Boy, that used to be something back in the day. Right now, it's pretty much Woodruff handling things tonight. Garrett, good to have you with us.
Yeah, good as always, Phil. It's a little bit of a rusty game for Woodruff tonight, as odd as that sounds to say, winning 42-15. But I'll credit Union County, too. They put up a game fight, particularly in the third quarter. Woodruff scored, got the ball first. It took them 3 plays to go about 75 yards. Quick pass to Aiden Gibson. He took it to the house. It was 28-0 Woodruff at halftime, and you kind of felt like the Wolverines were just going to go into cruise control. But Union County came out and kept battling in the third quarter and outscored Woodruff 12-0 in the third quarter. So you're thinking all of a sudden, wow, we've got ourselves a game here. But, the Wolverines, they've been so good all season. They finally kicked it back in gear, put 2 more scores up on the board, and that made it 42-12. Union County kicked the field goal with about 12 seconds left in the game, which was a bit meaningless at that point. But, Woodruff improves to 7-1, so they'll roll into their regular season finale next week against Broome.
And looking ahead to the playoffs, what are you seeing there? You seeing a team that's got a chance to make some noise?
Oh, absolutely. You never want to look ahead to anything. You don't take anything for granted. But I think the prevailing thought is that we're going to see a third-round matchup with Belton Honeypath. I think that's kind of a little bit on everybody's mind. We do seem to be locked into our first-round game, regardless of the outcome of next week. Woodruff clinched mathematically the number 2 seed in Region 3 tonight. So it looks as if the Pendleton Bulldogs will come to Woodruff in 2 weeks for a first-round game. We were essentially going to play the loser between Pendleton and Crescent, and that, of course, ended up being Pendleton.
Gotcha. Okay, my friend, thank you. Look for you next week. Appreciate it as always.
Yep, sounds good, Phil. You have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you, Garrett. And, boy, Woodruff. David, Woodruff is playing some great football, been good all season. As he pointed out, just one loss, so you got to think about them as being a threat.
Absolutely. They're it's when you get to about the second or third round, you really got to play well. That's why you play a tough early schedule so you can expose yourself, good or bad, to things that you may see in the playoffs. Woodruff played a tough schedule. I mean, they lost to Mountain View Prep, but that was a very close game. That it'd be interesting if they run into BHP in the third round. That will be there'll be some people at that game.
Absolutely, BHP's awfully good, and someone you have to be concerned about if you're going to play them. All right, to Chris Deering, had a great assignment tonight for the Prep Red Zone at one of the big games. Batesburg, Leesville, Saluda, maybe not as competitive as we thought it was going to be. First of all, what was that crowd like tonight?
Oh, it was a great crowd on both sides, Phil. It's always nice to walk into a high school stadium and see the stands filled. It was, a great atmosphere. Unfortunately, like you said, the game maybe didn't live up to the billing of number 1 versus number 2 in 2A, but big win by Batesburg, Leesville, and, I think it sort of was a statement game.
No question about it. I mean, you look at that and you go, wow. Of course, the Panthers are really good. Their defense, David and I talked about this earlier, the defense of both of these teams going in. They'd given up very little. Obviously, BL had their defense really cranked up tonight. What did they do on defense? What impressed you?
Well, I tell you, they got a couple of linebackers, and I don't have the roster right in front of me, but they have a couple of linebackers that are really good football players. They fly around to the football. They did force 3 turnovers. K.D. Witt had an interception in the end zone to stop a Saluda drive. Clarence Springs had another interception, and they recovered a fumble. But, the defense went on the field. Looking at the stats I just got from Saluda, Batesburg, Leesville had the ball for 34 minutes. Saluda had it for 14. So when your defense is not on the field that much, it's pretty easy to make a lot of plays. And there was a drive right before the half that I called big boy football. Batesburg, Leesville, after the K.D. Witt interception in the end zone, they took over on their own 20, had the ball for over 9 minutes, went 18 plays, 80 yards, converted 5 third downs in the drive, and then finally scored on a 4th down run by Amandre Wooden with 21 seconds to go in the half. That put them up 14-0. And then they come out of the locker room at halftime and dial up an onside kick and are able to get it and drive down and score again pretty quick and go up 21-0. And that right there was pretty much the ball game. Madre Wooden, their running back, a junior, had 193 yards. The quarterback, Tanner Watkins, 14 of 19 for 179 yards. Just a all-around great performance by the Batesburg team, really making, they don't have the region locked up yet. They still have to play Strong Thurman next week. It could end in a 3-way tie, but got to like the way this Batesburg-Leesville team's playing right now.
Where's that game next week?
I want to say when I was leaving the stadium, I had a Batesburg-Leesville fan tell me to come there next week, so I'm saying it's at home next week.
Okay. They'll have a huge crowd for that one. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I went to Batesburg earlier this year, and the crowds have returned. Small town football. They're coming out to support their team, and that's always good to see.
Thank you, sir. Always great hearing from you. Enjoy the game tomorrow night. Talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a great weekend.
Thank you. Chris Deering had the joy of being at a great game tonight. Let's get in one more here before the break. We go to Travis Jenkins tonight, who watched Louisville run it up in a big way. Big number for Louisville tonight. Welcome, Travis. How are you?
Doing great.
They took down Lamar big time.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, not at all what I was expecting. I
No.
thought this was going to be a kind of a tough down to the wire game. Louisville comes in 8-1, Lamar 7-2. I think their only two losses were like to Darlington and Pageland early in the season. So their only losses were to a couple of much bigger schools, two top 5 teams, and Louisville absolutely dominated them. 34-7 was or 38-7 was the final. Louisville's second possession puts together a nice long 10-play drive. Zach Rogers caps it with a touchdown run. They follow that up with another 10-play, 90-yard drive, cap that with a touchdown run from Jacorium Howes. Then they hold Lamar, force a punt. It hits this freak play, takes a weird bounce, hits a Louisville player's foot. There are two Louisville players there who could have fallen on it. One of them tried to pick it up, but it's almost like it was a hacky sack, and he like popped it up in the air, and a dude from Lamar just caught it in stride and went for a touchdown. And that could have been the kind of play that changed the game, but Louisville responds with a 5-minute drive, kicks a short field goal as time expires at the end of the first half to go up 17-7. Then they come out 2 plays into the second half, and Rogers hits Requarius Harris on a 72-yard touchdown pass. And then for the rest of the game, it's just Zach Rogers and Jordan Strong, two guys who are, if you've ever seen them, not the biggest guys, but just pound for pound, two of the toughest, best players probably in 1A football, and they just took that game over on the ground. Just Strong ran for right at 100 yards in the second half, 2 touchdowns. Zach Rogers did his normal thing, which is to just make plays and be a fantastic football player on both sides of the field. So Louisville clinches the region, 3rd straight. That gets them a number 1 playoff seed. They'll be off next week, and I think they play the number 6 team from Region 1, which would be like Calhoun Falls Charter or somebody like that. But if you kind of looked at 1A at the start of the year, you kind of thought it might end up being Louisville and Abbeville for the Upper State Championship, and it still kind of looks like that at this point.
Would not be surprised. All right, Travis, thank you so much. Talk to you next week. Always appreciate it.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you. Phil. Travis Jenkins. All right, so what we had originally, but we changed, should have left it alone. Fairfield Central, this is from the state, I trust Lou. Fairfield Central beat Columbia 48-0. Mid-Carolina beat Eau Claire 37-0. Also, Northside Christian beat Camden Military 48-14. And we'll be back. More to come. High School Scoreboard brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union.
In Columbia, South Carolina, game days are our specialty. Whether you're watching the game from inside the stadium or from the big screen at your favorite local spot, the energy remains the same. Craft the perfect fall Saturday in a city where there is plenty of action on and off the field. From tubing and kayaking to Soda City to rooftop restaurants and plenty barbecue. We're ready when you are. Plan your weekend at experiencecolumbiasc.com.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
Set your youth up for a lifetime of financial success with Smart Start from Founders Federal Credit Union. Smart Start products and educational resources help teach kids and teens the basics of saving, budgeting, and smart spending. Help them learn smart money skills to jumpstart their financial journey with Smart Start savings, debit, certificates, and educational resources. Learn more at foundersfcu.com/smartstart. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Touchstone Energy cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
All right, final 10 minutes tonight of the high school scoreboard brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. And let's work in a couple of more of our reports here. He'll hear more from David Shelton as we head down to the finish line tonight. Appreciate everybody that's called in with reports. And we're going to go to Richard Sally. Richard, watching that Orangeburg Prep game tonight in Skeeza action. And welcome in, sir. Give us your report tonight. What went down?
Hey, Phil. The Orangeburg Prep went to Thomas Sumter out of Dalzell for Skeeza 2A action. The Indians came away with a 41-0 victory. The scoring began in the first quarter. Walt Mims to Mason Tyler on a 15-yard touchdown pass. In the second quarter, Jasiri Parker on a 6-yard touchdown run gave a 12-0 Walt Mims to T. Riley on the 2-point conversion, put the Indians up 14-0. That's how it went into halftime. In the third quarter, the Indians took control. Jasiri Parker on an 8-yard TD run made it 20-0. Hunter Judy on a 1-yard touchdown run was 26-0. Still in the third quarter, Hunter Judy on a 3-yard touchdown run, 32-0. Bad snap of Thomas Sumter into the end zone. The Indians for a safety, 34-0, and finally a 34-yard touchdown run from Hunter Judy and an extra point from Walt Mims made the final score 41-0. That even the Indians on the season's 5-5, 3-2 in region play, and we get to go to Savannah next week to play Bethesda in the first round of Skeeza playoff.
I was going to say playoff time is here for you guys, right?
That's right.
OP gonna. You feel like OP is primed to make a run?
Well, we hope so. You know, Bethesda's defending 2A champion. If we could possibly get by them, we'll get a chance to play Calhoun again in St. Matthews, which we're hoping to have a chance at.
Fantastic. Thank you. We'll look for you next week in the playoffs.
All righty. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Richard Sally. All right, report on the OP win tonight. And let's go to Max Araj from Loco Sports. We were just hunting you guys down on Twitter as best we could to try to pick up some scores, so I'm glad you've dialed up. Good evening, Max. How are you?
I'm doing great. Glad to be back on the show. Yeah, a lot of games tonight in the Loco. The big one, Bluffton against May River tonight. Battle of Bluffton, and it was what we all hoped and dreamed of. Bluffton would take the win, stopping May River on 4th and 2 inside the red zone to win the game, 24-21 over May River. Bluffton will be at 4-1. They will be taking on Hilton Head next week for the Battle of US 278. The winner of that game will be the number 2 team out of that 4A region. So big game coming up next week between Bluffton and Hilton Head. For Hilton Head, meanwhile, they won tonight against Buford High School. Buford High School finishes off their regular season on, a bit of a down note, been a rough year for them, but Hilton Head has been hot as of lately. They win 29-11 over the Eagles of Buford High School. Bishop England will also be 4-1. They will lock in the number 1 seed out of that region, 35-6 over Colleton County tonight. So they're locked in at number 1 after beating both Hilton Head and Bluffton this season. So Bishop England will be 1, and either Bluffton or Hilton Head will be the 2 spot, depending on who wins next week's game between the Bobcats and the Seahawks. Battery Creek, they finished their season on the wrong side of the victory board. They lose to Hand-to-Hand tonight, 48-13. Battery Creek's had a rough going lately due to the fact they lost their quarterback, Chase Olson, a few weeks back. So it's been a rough going for Battery Creek, but they've had one of the better seasons I've seen out of them in a really long time. So we'll see how they do in playoffs. On the 2A side, Barnwell went to visit Whale Branch, and it was closer than we expected it to be. Barnwell would only win by 7, 21-14 over Whale Branch. So a good game for Whale Branch as they head to the playoffs despite the loss. Hardyville would get into the playoffs tonight with a win over Allendale Fairfax, 21-6. So Hardyville will be in the playoffs. We weren't sure a couple weeks ago where Hardyville would be sitting, but they are in the playoffs. So I'm excited to see how they do in their first full season of football back. On the Skeeza side of things, Thomas Hayward wins the Skeeza 1A region over Buford Academy tonight, 49-25. Thomas Hayward region champs once again, and they will be having home advantage throughout the entire playoffs. So we'll see how they do. Hilton Head Christian County finishes their regular season strong. They took on rivals Hilton Head Prep. They'd win 43-3. Both Hilton Head Christian and Hilton Head Prep will be going to their playoffs respectively. JP2 finishes off their season at home against Pinewood Prep, 69-21 in favor of Pinewood Prep. Patrick Henry took on their rivals of Andrew Jackson Academy. They would win big time, 34-0 over Andrew Jackson. And then Cross Schools gets their second win on the year as they beat Conway Christian 8-man football 48-18. And those are the scores from here in the Low Country.
We thank you so much, and give a shout out to what you guys are doing at Loco Sports.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you can definitely check us out every weekday night at 9:30 for the Loco Sports Lowdown. Myself, Justin, Jared, and Wes Kerr will be talking about all things throughout the Loco area. That includes Beaufort County, Jasper, Colleton, and Hampton County. So definitely check us out on there. You can check us out on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube as well. And you can definitely check out locosports.com. And then tune in every Friday night at 9:30 for the Loco Pigskin Live, where we'll be live from the fields, giving you up-to-date things that are happening in the football world here in the Low Country. So please feel free to come and watch us on Loco Sports.
We thank you very much, sir. Look to hear from you next week.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Take care.
Thank you. You too. All right. We've cleared the board, David. Quite the run tonight. You've had a pretty easy night of it.
Yeah, except for the drive home was miserable. But it's probably a good thing we had so many reports because I got lost and I didn't want to make a big deal of it. But I just walked into my house.
Oh.
And it should have been a 30-minute ride from Wando, but the way they redirected traffic out, I got in Park West. I was so lost. But I kept my cool. I just followed roads and. You know, I said, if I keep going this way, I'll run into a highway somewhere. And I did.
Yep. Eventually you'd hit 26 or 526. All right. So what do you take away from this night? We got about a minute and a half. So your deep thoughts on the night.
Well, wasn't a whole lot of what I would call upsets. I do think you got to give Bishop England credit going 8-2 and winning that region. They were a 2A school last year. They got bumped all the way up to 4A with the multiplier thing and hired a new coach, new coaching staff. And for them to go out and win 8 games is quite an accomplishment. And to win that region, I mean, you know, their only loss was to May River, but they beat Hilton Head, they beat Bluffton, you know, so really good for them. Barnwell with a close win. That was a little closer than I think most people thought that would be. And if that South Point Richland Northeast score was right, wow. South Point must be for real.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here in the state, so it's Lou's got it, so that would be accurate. You have a great weekend, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
Okey-doke.
And thank you to everybody that called in. Thanks to all you players, coaches, officials, and parents for making it happen. Thank you, Josh. Have a great weekend, everybody.